Ayy, flipping the script from my old ways. Pick up and switch them in flow state. Commas, I'm going through grown pains. I wasn't used to being so gross. I tighten the threads at a crochet. I wake up to cushion some OJ. The last tape I dropped was a rollway. It's yellow, I swear it's a Coldplay. Viva la vida, I'm swiping the Visa. We working, I'm taking off no days. Cause we throwing shots like a gun range. So we found.
Welcome to No Timeouts Left. This is your host, Shanakie Ward. Today's episode, we will talk about entitlement in sports and life. What is entitlement? Entitlement is an expectation of you receiving something that you never earned. There are so many individuals in this world that are entitled. It could be family members. It could be individuals that are on your sports team. It could be coworkers. It could be anyone. But you have to work for what you get. You have to work for anything that you want to have in life. That person's life is not your life. My life is not your life. So whatever is meant for you, you will receive it if you put in the work. I remember growing up, like I said in episode 1, I remember growing up in poverty. And it was just my mom as a single mother. We moved probably twice a year. I can go back right now and remember what house we lived at every single year. When I go back home, a lot of times I look at these houses. I look at where we live off of Martin Luther King. It's not called Martin Luther King now. And I remember during Christmas, somebody broke into our home and stole all of our Christmas gifts. Now, we received those gifts from welfare. Somebody gave us those gifts. My mother made sure that everybody had gifts. But you know what? My mom did not lay her head down. She made sure that we still had a Christmas. She didn't really blame anybody. She's never really done that. She's never been entitled. My mother did not graduate high school. But as I said in episode 1, it inspired me and it instilled in me that just because I grew up this way, it does not mean that I'm supposed to sit on the sideline, not work hard. This made me who I am. We moved every single year. To where it seems as if I was in a new spot every other year. But eventually, when I got to high school, I had a mentor of mine by the name of Crystal Williams. And Crystal Williams was an individual that I really looked up to. This individual gave me, and she put motivation inside of me, but I wasn't entitled for her life. I wasn't trying to be her. I was myself. And she was trying to help me get to where I needed to be. Eventually, after high school, I went to Clayton State University. No, initially I went to Georgia Perimeter College. And I remember not having a car at that particular time. And, a really good friend of mine by the name of Nicole Boston, we both had an opportunity to go to that college. And I remember being out there with Coach James Walden. God bless the dead. He passed away less than a year ago. He was my first college coach. And we would keep in contact from time after time. And I remember him telling us, hey, but Shanakie, this time that you all have right now, you're not going to get it back. That's also a source of entitlement as well, because we feel as if the time that we have right now is always going to be here, and it's not. And I remember renting that huge field at Georgia Perimeter College, and we had to make these times in order to be on the official roster. Was it difficult? Yes. Was I in shape at that particular time? No, I was not. But I knew where I came from, that I could not go back home and be a failure. That's what I had in my mind, that I got to keep pushing. That Mr. James, Coach Walden didn't owe me anything. My mother didn't owe me anything. Those homes and everything that I lived in, they didn't owe me anything. What was I going to do with my opportunity? I had to put in the work. And eventually I got in shape. I continued to work hard, and I made those times, and I was officially on the roster. And with that being said, I couldn't feel as if, hey, I was just going to be on this man's team just because I showed up. I had to put in the work. And even when I tried out for a Division II school, Clayton State University. I didn't have a scholarship. I had to go out there and show the coach that I could play basketball. I remember emailing the coach at Clayton State University and asking them where they have any tryouts. He sent me the dates right away. I guess it was divine intervention. He sent me the dates. Soon after that, I came and tried out. I had all my information. Transferred over to the school for Georgia Perimeter College. I showed up day one and I played hard, extremely hard. Because at that time, that was the only plan that I had. I wasn't going back to Milledgeville. I had to fight through every single thing. I was not complaining. I wasn't acting as if anybody owed me anything. The clock was ticking. I didn't have time to wobble in my next move. So I was offered a scholarship at Clayton State University as well. And I was the starting point guard. And that situation allowed me to see that, hey, this grind is going to always be real for you. I'm not going back home. I'm going to keep fighting. Every single day, we had to run that Laker Lake every single day. And it was hard, 2 miles a day, constantly running. And I tried to, one summer, I remember one summer, I didn't do any workouts, no conditioning. And I would say that I was going to do it, but, I kept just pushing it off. But I paid for it. I paid for it when it was time to go back in the summer, the end of the summer, when he had to see who was really in shape, and I wasn't. And those laps kept adding up because we had to run about 4 miles. And those 4 miles, the first couple of days, I did not make the time. And do you know what I was saying in my head? Man, I want to quit so bad. This is hard. I want to quit so bad. This is so hard. But I could not quit. I kept saying, I cannot go back home. I was in survival mode. I was trying to make it. I wasn't asking for anything free from the coach. I wasn't begging the coach to say, hey, I can't make this time, so just let me be out here and start. I had to keep pushing myself. I had to put the work in. The clock was ticking, and I had no time to wait. Just like the show is called, I had no timeouts left, and I had to keep pushing it. And it took about a week for me to keep pushing it and get myself in shape because I hadn't done anything. But I got myself in shape, and I earned it. And that particular year, at the end of the season, we didn't have a good year, though. We had a pretty decent team, but there were some structural issues that were going on at a particular time. And we ended up getting a new coach. Now, this new coach understood the style that we like to play. It was a lot of African-American girls on the team. And we had some, it was kind of diverse, but individuals that were a little bit quicker, no offense, a little bit quicker. And he had a style of play to where we had to play man-to-man defense, full-court press style. Every single day at practice, we had to run a mile. We were in so much of good shape to where we probably could have ran a marathon. I could run a 32-second suicide in probably 20 seconds back in college. I was always in the top 2 or 3, probably number 1. It became so easy, but we worked so hard. I remember the coach almost kicked us out of practice one day. He was like, y'all go home. Y'all go home. Y'all ain't doing nothing today. Y'all suck. Y'all are stinking up the place today. Everybody looked at each other. We said, Coach, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere, Coach. He turned around and looked at us. And we, as a team collectively, we knew there was no timeouts left. We had to get it together. We had to start making shots. We had to start defending. We had to execute the plays. Now, college plays are way more difficult than high school and middle school plays. There's so many flash screens, back cuts, all types of stuff like that. You got to understand the progression in college, and you got to defend in college. And he was a hard-nosed defender. I had to bet on myself. I had to defend. I had to run. And I didn't make any excuses. I had to get it done. You're starting point guard and you come in last. I was the starting point guard at that particular time. And I had to step up and I had to do what I was supposed to do if I wanted to make it in life. Because going back home was not an option. And I was going through personal things at that particular time, but going back home was not an option. I had to stay in school. I had to keep competing. My back was against the wall, but I had to come through because I had no timeouts left. Now, here's another segment of the show that is called the shot clock. And I want to discuss a certain particular player that's in the WNBA right now by the name of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is a ball player, magnificent. She broke so many records of NCAA scoring. She was the first individual that I've ever seen shoot three-pointers from the logo. She really helped elevate this game of basketball, along with some other individuals in front of her. But I would be remiss if I didn't discuss lately what's been going on with Caitlin Clark on the shot clock. So what I've been seeing with Caitlin Clark is she's not been living up to the expectations, and she's been looking for calls from the refs. She's been crying for calls. She's been arguing with her coaches on the sideline. At this particular time, she's not holding herself accountable. Great players get it done. Great players fight through adversity. Great players don't complain about calls. You may say something and you keep going. You don't keep talking to the referee and pouting as if he's going to change that call for you. You fight through adversity. That is something that she needs to work on within her game. There was another blow up that she had with a coach on the sideline. The coach had to move her and put her in another position, and the coach subbed her out. The coach wanted defense. It doesn't matter how good of a shooter you are, when your shot is not falling, you got to defend. There's no timeouts left. You got to step in and play defense. And 5 plays in a row, she got burned on defense, and she didn't put any effort into it. As I said, she's a great player, but as a great player, there are expectations as a great player. She has to step it up defensively. She has to allow the coach to coach her. Being coachable is also accountability. If you're not being coachable, that's entitlement. Caitlin Clark has been demonstrating entitlement for this past couple games. The Toronto Temple smacked them in the mouth. Now, I like Stephanie White. Stephanie White is a coach that I love her coaching style. She has tenacity such as myself. She wants you to defend. But Caitlin Clark is on the sideline complaining. She's on the sideline complaining. And I understand that happens with professional sports. But at the same time, if you're going to be the face of the league, you got to show accountability. You cannot show entitlement. You got to rise to the occasion. Yes, officials mess up all the time. They make bad calls. They're not perfect. But if you're going to wobble in that call, what you're doing right now, you are putting your teammates in a position of uncertainty, because you're still crying about a call. Your opponent is back down scoring a basket. So on no timeouts left, well, that is my perspective on my trending topics of the shot clock. Within this episode, we discuss entitlement. We discuss a little bit about my background, my college, how I grew up. And those are the things that you can expect every week, every Thursday on No Timeouts Left. See you again next Thursday.
Hey, flipping the script from my old ways. Pick up and switch them in flow state. Commas, I'm going through grown pains. I wasn't used to being so gross. I tighten the threads at the